Spider-Man Homecoming, ladies and gentlemen.
Where to begin?
Can't talk about shit. There are no spoilers, so we definitely have to kind of keep this.
So we're gonna wrap this up real quick.
Okay, all right. I guess we can start it back. All right, let's peel it back. Okay. One, the whole crux of the story is essentially Peter goes on Euro trip. Shit happens with elementals. Teams up with Mysterio to stop them, and what are you gonna do?
That's your movie.
That's your movie there. This is Spider-Man on a European trip and Peter having fun. I'll say this. They did a phenomenal job off the break addressing everything that you were thinking of at the end of Endgame, and they do it in a very funny way.
This movie delivers laughs in ways that you would not see coming, but if you're a true Spider-Man fan, the laughs that they deliver, you roll with it because they're great.
Oh yeah. I mean, first off, JP Smoove is fucking hilarious in this movie.
Oh, dude, when I see JB Smoove in the very beginning, I was like,
why did I say JP? JB, yeah, JB Smoove.
The minute I see JB Smoove roll around that corner quick, fast, and in a hurry, I was like, yo, don't think I don't recognize that bald head. I know that's you, bruh. JB, what are you doing in the MCU? You got that Disney money now?
So I'll say this. What they do is, what I think was great about this movie is they address the 5-year gap with everything and stuff, and they do it in such a way because basically inherently what it was is, and it's what we all theorize will happen. Everybody that disappeared in a moment, they pop back in where they're at, which kind of throws into some theories on if you were on a plane and disappeared, does that mean it's pop back on the plane? Probably, maybe.
It still makes me question, like, so what happens with that?
Yeah, and it actually creates a very funny dynamic because a lot of the kids that were like middle school and stuff, they pop back older and stuff, and a lot of people that were like poof when they were 5 years old 5 years ago, they basically stayed the same age and stuff. Even though technically they're 5 years older. So Peter and them technically are like 20, 21, but they're still 15, 16 years old. Basically, and it creates a basic dynamic in the fact that they gotta basically repeat 9th, 10th grade essentially.
Yep, they all had to repeat high school.
So it kind of keeps that high school dynamic intact essentially, like without missing a beat, which I think is great. But yeah, past that, we can't really spoil much of anything and stuff. I will say Jake Gyllenhaal is phenomenal as Mysterio.
Yeah,
the effects and really everything for Mysterio is dope.
I will talk about the production side of things. First of all, the special effects that was used, the CGI, all that was really well done.
The Elementals look pretty dope.
Elementals, okay. I wanted to poke fun at the Elementals only because we had just seen Dark Phoenix not long ago, and when I saw, I think what was it?
Lava Man.
Yeah, when I saw Lava Man, I said, "So, are they fighting the Ether?"
I mean,
they fight the Ether, aka the Phoenix Force, but the special effects was pretty dope for it. Like all of them, like the Hydro Man thing was actually pretty dope and stuff. But yeah, just seeing like Quentin Beck in Mysterio, I was like, how are they gonna do it? And, oh, okay, gotcha. And I mean, if you know the MCU and their history in terms of tech and all that stuff, you can probably put 2 and 2 together on how Mysterio does what he does, so to speak, and I'll leave it at that. Once again, you get thrown for a loop watching this movie.
Oh yeah, it's not what you think.
Yeah,
put it that way. And I mean,
a lot of stuff just pops up, and you're like, hold the hell up.
I mean, look, as soon as it was like Mysterio's in it, you kind of know where this is going. But not, put it this way, it's not in the way that you think it is. Now, that, again, that's not spoiling it. Like I say, if you know the Mysterio character, you know what it is, Master Illusion, blah, blah, blah. So you're just kind of like, all right, what's your in-game, dog? And like you said, it's not what you think.
Yeah, it isn't.
It's definitely not what you think. It's kind of like a Zemo situation a little bit. It's like the misdirection and stuff. You think it's one thing and then it's not. So again, that's not really spoiling anything. But yeah, I did like the aspect they're in Europe though. It felt like they were in Europe.
Dude, they were all over Europe.
It didn't feel like it was, oh, they're in Canada, but this is supposed to be Europe. It's like, no, this looks like they're in Europe. They're in London. They're in Prague.
They spent the money. They spent the money. They spent some money on it and stuff.
Spared no expense.
I mean, you know, we get Nick Fury and Maria Hill, because of course we do. Why not?
Yep.
Happy Hogan, and and Aunt May.
Bro,
look, the fact that they have a romance, I was fine with, because everybody was like, well, didn't Tony was flirting. Let's not get it twisted. He was flirting. There was no like, oh, they're in a relationship. So,
and on top of that, first of all, Tony has always been after Pepper. So come on.
Yeah, you know that whole thing in Civil War was just innocent flirting and stuff. You know what's funny? A lot of folks, and I guess I have to emphasize this here. A lot of folks, when it comes to Aunt May, I need people to realize this: Aunt May, your aunt, in real life is always going to be closest of age to your mom. Yeah. She is not supposed to be some decrepit old lady. All right, that is the biggest mistake of the Raimi films, is that they made her like grandmother Aunt May, and I'm like, why is she that goddamn old?
Look, the only reason why they went that angle, and let's just be real,
comics.
No, not even just the comics. What was popular for Spider-Man at that time? The 90s Spider-Man cartoon.
Yeah. But even the 90s cartoon, I'm like, is she supposed to be that fucking old?
Dude, no, she's not. But even in the 90s cartoon, they made her look old. Like, dude, they made her look like grandma. She's like grandma.
Well, that was the thing. Like, Sally Field, she ain't old, but still, it's kind of along those lines a little bit too. So it's like, all right, you got Marissa Tomei. All right, cool. And everybody made the joke like, oh, it was hot Aunt May. I'm like, well, she's supposed to be your aunt, so
yeah, she's supposed to be like,
your aunt's supposed to be in your 40s, 50s, and looking okay. That makes sense. You know, that's why I was like, I wasn't really offended, but I do like the idea of them picking up of the fact that she knows Peter's Spider-Man, but it's kind of like one of those things where, oh, okay, well.
I mean, well, it kind of had to happen after,
at the end of
Homecoming.
But I like how she took it in stride. I'm like, all right, Peter, you're Spider-Man. I can't worry about you and stuff. And we get the whole thing of Peter Parker's spider sense, which we saw in Infinity War and stuff, and we called it, the Peter Tingle?
Yeah. Like, as I was going through the movie, I'm like, so we really just gonna run with that, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we'll probably get Spidey sense at some point. I mean,
there was so many times that I was waiting for a certain catchphrase to come up, and it didn't come up.
Nah.
It never dropped. I'm not gonna say it because, again, I don't want to spoil nothing, but I don't know, what does even be considered a spoiler? Like, you know, considering Mary Jane, like MJ's character.
Well,
look, okay.
The dynamics of MJ and Peter, the movie does a phenomenal job of showing them, because I mean, let's be real, you know they're gonna get together. So it's the case of how do we build up to that moment, and they do a good job of building up MJ and Peter. They sell you on it.
No, and the way that they show it in the trailer, where she guesses like, yeah, you're Spider-Man. It's very obvious that you're Spider-Man. When they establish all that stuff, and of course, you know, as you said, they're gonna get together. All I wanted was a go get him Tiger.
Nah, that'd be too obvious.
I mean, it's too obvious, but come on, it's a callback. It's a good callback. Hell, she didn't even have to say go get him. Just insert sentence and end it with Tiger. Or she could be like, whatever you say, Tiger. Done.
Yeah, but I mean, but like I said, even past that, they do a good job of establishing their relationship, and Peter kind of being antsy and all that stuff, trying to hook up with her and see what happens and stuff, and his boy Ned's, who has a very funny moment during the trip where he ends up hooking up
with her friend
and stuff, and it's just fucking hilarious, because it's like with teenagers, like, oh, you're a boyfriend girlfriend, and then it goes the way you know it's gonna go and stuff. But so funny thing about this, I saw it in a regular theater, you saw it in like the full IMAX, so you gotta tell me, what was that experience like in the full IMAX?
Boy. Okay, you know,
'cause I saw the Meg in that, and the Meg looked nice on that screen.
Watching this movie in IMAX is unfreaking believable.
How was the fight scenes in this?
The fight scenes looked, again, unbelievable. The whole movie in IMAX is insane. Again, it's Mysterio. You know, anyone who's
his illusions.
His illusions.
Dope as hell.
When they show off his illusions in IMAX, bro, I felt like I was in it.
Oh yeah, I mean, I can imagine, because like they pop very well. And like I said, I'm not going to spoil the idea of the illusions, but when you see them, it's like, oh, this is actually pretty dope.
Yeah. So, again, a recommendation, please Go see the like if you
3D. It might pop in 3D IMAX.
If there's I only saw it in regular IMAX, but if they got a 3D IMAX, which they should, if there's 3D
Definitely
IMAX,
see it.
please go see it.
Oh yeah. The music, they used classic Spider-Man stuff, and it worked. Like you said, with the cinematography, it was actually pretty good as well.
Cinematography, all that stuff was shot very well.
Yeah,
a lot of good shots. I love a lot of the establishing shots.
Did you catch the? Okay, so there's a moment where Spider-Man is swinging, and it kind of captured that moment from the Spider-Man PS4 game.
I caught that.
Yeah, there's a moment in the movie you're watching, and he's like, "Oh shit, that's from the Spider." And it's like there's so many key moments in this movie because, like I said, it comes across like a very much like its own kind of continuation of Homecoming. Basically, it's like like I said, even though it picks up after Endgame, and like I said, this is a good epilogue to that. It's not the specter of Endgame isn't lingering over this movie's head.
No, it doesn't.
It's not, and they do a good job of Peter trying to come into grips with like everybody thinking he's gonna be the next Iron Man and stuff, and he's really feeling pressured by this and stuff. And he, like I said, he does the typical kind of like, all right, I got to figure out how I'm going to maneuver through all this and not be, pressured by it. But as with anything, with Peter Parker, he basically kind of overcomes it and stuff. But yeah, everything else, I'm just going to leave it to you guys because you got to be like going in for a surprise and stuff. So this was definitely a really good kind of, I'll say I'm not going to say game changer. But I will say this does kind of leave going into Phase 3 kind of like, I'm curious of what we're going to get in Hall H now.
I have to say, out of all of the Spider-Man movies, because our boy Sam, I was sitting next to him and he was telling me after we saw everything, full movie, mid credits, the stingers at the end, and all that other stuff. Where do you rate this movie? And I said, you know what?
I'm going to let it marinate because, the part of you wants to sit there and say, oh, number one. I got to let it marinate for a bit. But I will say this, though. I will say this.
Well, hold on. The argument is, the widespread argument is Spider-Man 2 is like the best Spider-Man movie, period.
I will say this. I will say Far From Home is better than Spider-Man 2. Because everybody puts Spider-Man.
I'm with you on that.
Because if you really think about it, and that's why I like Homecoming, and that's why I like this. They play very well as standalone movies. They don't have like, all right, let's do. And Black Panther did a really great job. I think when they went into Phase 3, they did a good job of telling these standalone stories without it being like, all right, what's going to be this continuation going to next? It's like, no. Homecoming is his own movie. Peter dealing with his own stuff. Far From Home. Yes, you have the stuff from Endgame and all that stuff, but this is Peter being a teenager.
Much like how the Netflix Marvel series, they mention the stuff from the first Avengers movie.
But it's focused on the character in his world and stuff. But it still kind of leaves Peter Parker in this like, all right, where does he kind of stand in terms of the greater MCU and stuff, particularly when you get to the end of the movie and stuff. But like I said, I put it up as like my top Spider-Man movie, to be honest and stuff.
It's up
which is funny because I like Homecoming and stuff, but I never like Homecoming was my top, and then Into the Spider-Verse came out and just kind of blew fucking the doors off of Spider-Man lore, So, I don't know where you got this at rating it as.
I'm definitely rating it like above Spider-Man 2.
No, I'm saying like score wise.
Oh, score wise. Without a doubt, I'm giving this a 9.5.
Yeah, I said 9.5.
9.5.
Easily 9.5. But yeah, because I think at the risk of keeping going, then we're going to end up going to spoiler territory, and I'm not going to do that.
Actually, no. I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it a step further. I'm going to say 9.8.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Now, this is just me coming off of just seeing this as a screener. I want to go see it again. If I can see it again a second time,
I might see Endgame, and then I'll probably see this again just so I can see the little Endgame shit.
Now,
happens,
I want to watch this movie a second time, and if this movie does cause me to change my score from 9.8 to something else, I'll do that. Yeah. But I'm gonna sit at 9.8 for this.
Yeah, I said 9.5. I mean, like I said, the movie is just phenomenal, like top to bottom. Like you like the characters, you're invested in what happens to them, like happy. Even the student characters. You're very engaged and interested in them. and what they do and stuff. So they do a good job of making you care about each and every character and such. Like I said, Fury and Maria Hill are Fury and Maria Hill. There's nothing much to say, but I will say I do enjoy Samuel L. Jackson in this movie.
Boy,
and Fury's dynamic with Peter is fucking hilarious.
First of all, how many times did we nearly get meme level Sam Jackson?
We almost got it. And the thing of it is, I will say this too. There were certain things about Fury in this movie that I love, because this is a Fury that, just like Peter and them, he's been missing in action for 5 years. Mm-hmm. So there was a line where he was like, okay, for the first time ever, I'm out of the loop. I don't know what the hell is going on.
Yep.
I don't even know what's going on. So it's like, this is a Fury that doesn't know what's happening right now. So, or so we think, because, Fury likes to put on a poker face.
That he does.
Clearly and stuff. But, yeah, he does a good job doing what he does and stuff, and I think it's actually pretty dope. So, yeah, definitely go see it. Don't want to spoil anymore. So, yeah. See you guys later.
Peace. Done.
Phoebe.
Perfect.